My name is Ricky Brandon, and the company is Hormone Balance Centers, and I am the owner, the founder of Hormone Balance Centers.
Cool. And why did you come to Command Your Brand?
I came to Command Your Brand because I needed to extend my reach. I wasn't reaching the audience that I wanted to. And a friend of mine actually had been seeing your newsletter, and he was going to do it, but never did it. So he passed it along to me, and I pulled the trigger right away. And uh, boy, am I glad I ever did.
Awesome. And what was your experience with the onboarding process?
My experience with the onboarding process was actually very exciting. It went very smooth. I was kind of surprised that there was this whole team there now to support me and even teach me how to fill in my deficits, right? Wherever I was weak or wherever I was strong. So my advice to anyone else doing this is just lean into the process of the onboarding and don't be afraid to show some vulnerabilities or weakness, because they will help you strengthen those. So the onboarding process was actually extremely valuable to me.
Awesome. And what value did you receive in your onboarding?
The biggest values I received in my onboarding were the coaching and kind of setting expectations for how this was going to go. I would have been overwhelmed if I was booked on 12 or 24 podcasts overnight. And so I feel like they kind of gauged where I was and gave me a few podcasts to get warmed up. And then they opened the floodgates.
Nice.
And so the real value was in the coaching and the teaching and kind of showing me how to be on a podcast, because I was a total newbie.
Interesting. Cool. And how was your experience working with the PR team?
My experience working with the PR team is second to none. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I drew the lucky card out of the hat or something. I don't know if all clients get assigned the same team, or I mean, I'm sure they all get different teams, but I'm not sure if they're all as good as mine. But like, I feel like I got a top-notch team who really took care of me, coached me, and they were really on my side, like fighting. I even got encouraging calls in between, like, "Hey, how you doing? Just checking in," and you know, just encouraging, telling me about all the feedback they've gotten. And gosh, I couldn't ask for a better team.
Awesome. And what results did the program create in your business?
Results I got from the program, I got more traffic than I've gotten in my lifetime, to be honest with you. And it was quality traffic. It felt like somebody had filtered these leads for me before they ever got to me. They helped me craft an offer, a good offer that would resonate with the audiences. They taught me how to talk with the hosts. And so the results from following that coaching were traffic, phone calls, and people filling out my sales funnel, my lead funnel. And it just kept getting fuller and fuller and more effective with every episode.
Wow, incredible. That's amazing. And how did appearing on podcasts help your messaging?
Appearing on podcasts helped my messaging by in more than one way, right? One was it helped me hone my message by practicing it over and over and over. The second way was to give me some notoriety. Like, I didn't have a big social following, but when you start posting after post after post after post that I'm on this podcast, now I'm on this podcast, now I'm on that podcast, it creates this perception, which becomes reality, that I am a sought after speaker. I'm a sought after guest. And that's real power when you start showing your current following and new following. They go, wow, he was on this podcast. Wow, he's on that. Now he's on this other podcast. That's some real power, and gives you some, like, it allows you to command presence with these new leads, because you're the celebrity, right? You're the voice. You're the guy everyone is seeking after to get advice. Even the people who they listen to are treating you as a thought leader in the space. And so it's like instant credibility, right? Notoriety, credibility, and authority. So that's what this did for me.
Nice. So I guess for you, was there a show that really was like amazing for you? Like you really got like, wow, this was a great show. Like I really had a good time on this show. Anything like that?
There were a couple shows that were like really off the hook. Like I felt like they were home runs
Yeah.
because they were a perfect match for my audience.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the hosts were totally into it. Like we just had this great synergy and this great conversation. So probably the most recent two shows that I did were, and I still have more shows coming up, right? But I don't know if it's that I've gotten better or that the shows are getting better. I think it's a little of both. But the last two shows, hormonally speaking and True Health, were fantastic.
Awesome. And is there anything you would like to communicate in your experience working with Command Your Brands?
In my experience working with Command Your Brand, it has not only brought me more customers and more followers, but it has also raised my game. So that was an unexpected benefit, was me becoming better at speaking about what I do. So that was this added value that I wasn't expecting. I mean, I just thought, hey, you're going to put me on a bunch of podcasts, and I'm going to do my best to harvest the traffic from those podcasts. But you put a ton of time into finding just the right podcast, understanding my business. I mean, I spent a lot of time with my onboarding team, and I felt like they understood my business. They asked the right questions, and they really became champions for me.
Mm.
And to have someone kind of pave the way before you go on a podcast, it was no longer me begging, can I go on your podcast? Can I go on your podcast? Right.
Yeah.
And kind of spamming people. All of a sudden, doors just started opening. And I didn't have to see all the work that it took to get that door open. I know there must have been a lot of work to get some of these. And some of them were really big home run shows that were unexpected, like with a huge viewership.
Yeah.
And Rebecca was my agent. Rebecca would call me up like on my cell phone, even like late at night. She's like, "Oh my gosh, Ricky, I just got a home run for you. We hardly ever get anyone on the show, and they loved you, and you're going on." In fact, that show, usually you record for about 40-45 minutes.
Yeah.
This particular show, we went for 3 hours. Now, I don't know what the edited version will be, but the conversation went so well that we went for 3 hours. Now, I don't know if anyone's going to listen to a 3-hour podcast, but obviously the host liked the content enough that we did that. Now, that was one where my PR agent called me up, like on my cell phone after hours, just to congratulate me for getting that show. And your agent will become your true friend. They will become your your champion, right? Like. And it's not just, I never felt like it was just about that I was a number to them. I truly feel like I've become friends with them, and that they really care about me and my business and my mission to help people.
Awesome. That's great. I'd love to hear that. That's amazing. And then would you recommend Command Your Brands?
Would I recommend Command Your Brand? Yes, yes, yes. And in fact, I'm even recommending it to myself again. I finished my program, and I'm just going to get a few things organized, and I'll be back for more. So absolutely, I would recommend Command Your Brand.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, it was fun having you. We had a good time with you. I hear a lot of good stories about you.
It's all lies.